Donald Trump. Occasionally. And with the ribbing and the joshing and the pulling the pants down and the pointing.
As I say, leave the statue up there. The most mistreated group of people in the United States today are white males.
He is in pain right now.
A fantastic woman, a true patriot, Laura Loomer. This woman is amazing. Laura Loomer.
Jon Stewart just dropped a truth bomb on Laura Loomer, and it's messier than a food fight at Mar-a-Lago. Spoiler alert, it involves racism, 9/11 conspiracies, and a whole lot of MAGA drama. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much! Now back to the video. In relation to disastrous reality shows, Loomer's social media circus was the main event. Why is Donald Trump hanging around with this woman is a question that Jon Stewart could ask himself. You can laugh or cry when you hear the response. This time, Laura Loomer, who calls herself the most banned woman on the internet, has surpassed herself. On social media, she has been posting bombshells that make Trump's tweets seem like bedtime stories. Jon Stewart was compelled to challenge this political charlatan. Shall we begin with Loomer's greatest hits? Sheila Jackson Lee, she dubbed her a ghetto bitch. Nice, huh? But there's still more. Regarding Kamala Harris, Loomer truly let her bigotry fly. She predicted that Harris's victory would smell like curry. Furthermore, it seems that in Loomer's bizarre universe, Harris would conduct speeches through contact centers and gather input via incomprehensible surveys. Being the comic genius that he is, Jon Stewart was forced to draw attention to how ridiculous Trump's relationship with Loomer is. He joked, "Why is Donald Trump hanging around with this woman?" Asking the question, "Why does a bull hang out in a china shop?" is an exercise in futility. This is when things get really crazy though. Loomer attempted to use the oldest ruse in the book in response to criticism for her overtly racist comments. They were, she said, just jokes. Yes, and I'm merely the English queen.
As I say, leave the statue up there. The most mistreated group of people in the United States today are white males.
This is another one. If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry. So another racist attack.
He is in pain right now.
A fantastic woman, a true patriot, Laura Loomer. This woman is amazing. Laura Loomer.
Stewart's response to this pathetic justification was hilarious. In essence, what he said was, "Nice try, but racism isn't a punchline." The entire Loomer debacle serves as a primer on how not to do politics. She seems to be competing to be named Trump's most insulting acquaintance. And there is really fierce competition, let's face it. The worst part is that Trump doesn't seem to care. He seems to be gathering contentious figures as if they were Pokemon cards. You have to get them all, right? This is not an isolated incident involving Loomer. It's a component of a larger trend within Trump's political network. They appear to be competing with one another in a game of who can say the most outrageous thing. As if Trump's political carnival could not grow any wilder, two of its top acts chose to take center stage. It's not pretty when Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene are at each other's throats. What could possibly cause such a public breakdown of these MAGA megaphones? Now that the drama has intensified, gather around the popcorn. Everyone, everything began when Loomer chose to act as a comic and make a joke about Kamala Harris's Indian ancestry. Warning, there was no humor. If Harris prevailed, she said, the White House would smell like curry. Nice, huh? But there's still more. Defending her racist remarks, Loomer claimed they were just humor, because it seems that calling racism a joke makes it acceptable. Well done, Laura. Let us introduce Marjorie Taylor Greene, the self-proclaimed conspiracy theory queen. You'd think she'd be all over Loomer's humor, but she wouldn't be. In fact, Greene chastised Loomer for her remarks. It's amusing to watch, but also a little depressing to see two bull elephants battle it out over the final peanut. However, Loomer was not going to accept that. she retaliated, denouncing Green as a raging anti-Semite and criticizing her personal circumstances. They appear to be competing in the game, who can be the most offensive? I can assure you that they are both succeeding. As the voice of reason in this circus, Jon Stewart couldn't resist pointing out the irony. Is Green, who is well known for her own contentious remarks, now taking on the role of the reasonable one? Comparable to the pot calling the kettle black when in reality the kettle is a raging trash fire. But there's more to this Twitter spat than just two politicians vying for limelight. It's a sign of a more serious issue with Trump's MAGA movement. These people can no longer even agree on what constitutes appropriate behavior. They all seem to be vying to outdo Trump, and the outcome is anarchy.
Laura, how are you? You look so beautiful, as always.
But you know what? I guess what Trump calls her isn't as important as figuring out what she is.
The great Laura Loomer. Some of you know Laura. She's a fantastic person, great woman.
Donald Trump. Occasionally. And with the ribbing and the joshing and the pulling the pants down and the pointing.
Green even cautioned Loomer that Trump's reputation would suffer as a result of her shenanigans. Because, you know, Trump's image is both extremely delicate and immaculate. It's similar to fretting about a ding on a vehicle that has participated in a demolition derby. What does Stewart think of all this chaos? In essence, he's saying, observe the transformation of Trump's political circle. This group of individuals is incapable of managing a nation, much less playing nicely in a sandbox. Trump's political circle appears to have about as stable a future as a Jenga tower after an earthquake. In the political carnival that is Trump's entourage, Laura Loomer has entered the center ring. However, her presence with Trump at a 9/11 memorial has many wondering, is this a redemption story? Or is this simply another farce? You should listen to Jon Stewart's humorous observations about this unusual pair. I guarantee it. Imagine this. Laura Loomer, the queen of conspiracy theories, and Donald Trump come up for a 9/11 memorial. It's like being at a science convention and encountering Bigfoot. You don't know if you should laugh or cry. Being the comic genius that he is, Jon Stewart was compelled to try his hand at this political piquet. What? Loomer is currently working as quickly as he can to dispel reports of an affair between him and Trump by tweeting, "No collusion!" Folks, she is all about that life of hard work. She stated that some of us women have no desire to have sexual affairs with politicians or men with elite political status to climb the ladder. Yes, Laura, that's precisely what we were all thinking. This is when things get really crazy though. Loomer is now frequenting 9/11 memorials after previously speculating that the attacks were the product of an inside job. It resembles a flatlander going to a NASA launch. How did Stewart respond? Funny as hell. In essence, he's asking, hey, remember when this lady believed that 9/11 was a hoax? She is now acting casually about it at the memorial. The entire scenario resembles a masterclass on how to mishandle your public persona. Trump is interacting with a person who has been banned from more sites than a misbehaving child at Chuck E. Cheese. It's calling into question the kind of company he keeps. With pals like these, really, who needs adversaries? Hold on, things get better. In her infinite wisdom, Loomer concluded that disparaging Kamala Harris would be the most effective way to protect her reputation. To quote her, she continued, "I know that Kamala Harris sucks dick to get where she is today. Laura, keep it sophisticated. That will undoubtedly increase your reputation." How does Jon Stewart view all of this? It's similar to witnessing a slow motion crash of a clown vehicle. Even though you know it will be a mess, you can't help but stare. He is basically advising us to treat these political leaders with the same caution you would exercise, remain at a distance, and consider carrying a fire extinguisher when approaching a trash fire. The entire Loomer-Trump situation resembles a subpar reality TV program. You have enough drama to make the Real Housewives look pale in comparison, along with your contentious star and sensational allegations. As if things couldn't get much more ridiculous, Loomer goes on to say that she was just a guest at the ceremony, since that's very typical, right? What then is the issue with Trump's bizarre universe? It's a mess, as Jon Stewart has been dissecting it. Loomer's offensive remarks and her conflict with Green give the impression of a political circus gone wild. Trump too? He is the mastermind behind this entire operation. But Stewart isn't just joking around. He is drawing attention to how absurd it is that these people are active in political circles. It's like witnessing a group of clowns attempt to govern a nation. Funny, yes, but a little frightening too. The worst part is this: Stewart urges us to consider carefully who we back. Do we really want these individuals in leadership roles? It's no longer only about having fun. It concerns our politics' future. Therefore, consider this the next time you watch a Trump show. Is this really what we want for America?